Right, I'm back on the swing arm. Well, I've got my head around where I was at a year or maybe 2 years ago with the swing arm, so you'll forgive me. I don't have to put anything in the lathe, the machine, anything, as I thought I did, so I can get away with continuing on with the needle rollers in here. So I just had to get my head around it again because it's been so long. So if you have a look down in here, I'll put a torch down in here, you can see there's, I don't know if you can see that, there's a Kawasaki, so a swing arm kit for a Kawasaki, just an all balls kit, Kawasaki KLX 250. Needle, let me turn the flash on, might be better. So just needle rollers down in there, standard seals that come in the kit. So the bearings were just pressed in. As you can see, this is standard Kawasaki here, and on the other side, and you can see this crush tube that I've welded in between the two halves here. So this is the standard part. This bit here I've put in. It's just a piece of aluminium tubing that you can see that I've welded in, and I've put a grease nipple in here to grease feed those needle roller bearings. So that in mind, what I've also done is I wanted to try and keep, I didn't want to have to muck around and make too many swing arm parts for the frame or bolts or whatever, so it utilises the factory Yamaha swing arm bearing, so the xt500 swing arm pivot bolt and nut, so that's all stock Yamaha. And what I had to do, I had some 4140 round bar that I drilled out in the lathe. So this is not heat treated, but it is 4140. And I've also drilled that with a 9/64, so about 4mm drill, to allow grease to be fed in through the nipple. The grease will feed into this chamber here, between the the bar here. It'll feed out to the bearings. The grease will hit the seals, and then it'll be forced back in, down through this hole, into the void here on the standard Yamaha bearing, and hopefully that'll feed a bit of grease out through these parts here. So hopefully the grease will feed out nicely. As you can see, this goes in through the stock Kawasaki bearings, so that just goes in there. It is a firm fit, but it does work, and as a pinch, it pinches together between the swing arm as you do it up. Sorry, losing my train of thought there. What I do have to do is, the swing arm is 198mm wide from side to side. The frame is 200, so it's about 1mm or a touch over. What I need to do is manufacture, and I'll do that on the lathe, is a spacer that goes in here like a washer. This has been made so it's just slightly wider than the swing arm here. So this sits out proud outside of here. So when we pinch it all together, when we do up the swing arm, this crush tube will be pinched between the sides of the frame, not the swing arm. So the washers will press against the sides of the frame. As the swing arm bolt is tightened, the washers will come in and contact on this crush tube and hold the crush tube firmly, not allowing it to pivot. What will then happen, the swing arm bolt, nut and crush tube will be held firmly between the sides of the frame and be held stationary. What then will happen is the swing arm will be allowed to move up and down, or oscillate, whatever you want to say, on the crush tube, which is 4140, and the bearings will move in these areas here. Okay, so we'll give them a bit of a linish, make sure there's no marks on there, and it should all be good. So I'll manufacture up some washers, and I'll be back.